welcome to Baking Brownies with Jacob. Alright everyone, so my name is Jacob. I'm going to be baking brownies today. And so my purpose about this is to make sure that you are able to learn how to bake super delicious brownies and also use safety in the kitchen with coordination and cognitive skills. For my learning outcome, part of my portion of the lesson, participants should be able to successfully make super delicious brownies. And we're going to get into the skills part, such as cognitive skills and also coordination skills. So for cognitive skills, it would be like following the recipe to the exact amount and cooking it. And coordination skills could be such as mixing the batter or making sure that the batter doesn't get over whipped and the timing is correct. And so I will also be sharing some tips and tricks. For the next part of my lesson is going to be the icebreaker. So I'm going to ask everyone to introduce themselves real quickly because we're on a time schedule. Are you a middle piece brownie person or a corner piece brownie person? I'll go first. My name is Jacob. I'm a corner piece person. Okay, so now that we're done with our icebreaker, I'm going to ask a little bit of the pre-test, just a couple people. Have you made brownies? Was it from the box? Was it homemade? Were they choose? Give me a couple sentences, just how it is. We're going to pause the video right here so we can continue that one. So now we're going to go over the ingredients. We're going to start with eggs. We're going to use 1 egg yolk. Next is going to be 1 stick of butter, which is about half a cup of butter. We're going to use 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, if you want to see that closely. So it says the sweetened part. We're going to use 3 tablespoons of pure vanilla extract. And here we are going to use convection sugar. So fun fact about convection sugar, it's actually sugar that's been blended to a fine powder. So they take this, put it in a blender, and it comes out convection sugar, which is actually powdered sugar. So for our next ingredient, we're going to be using flour, about 3/4 cup of flour. And then after that, we're going to be doing cocoa powder. You can use any type of cocoa powder for this recipe. We need about half a cup. Hey everyone, so now that we've covered all the ingredients what we needed, first we're going to have to turn on our oven, which I'll show you. So we're going to want our oven to be 325, and we're going to let this brownies cook for about 30 minutes, but we'll get to that part for a minute. So first, we're going to take our pot, and then we're going to put 1 stick of butter right in there. Of course, I'm going to take the wrapper off. So when the butter's in there, we're going to make sure we put this on 4 to 5. So this is about medium heat. We're going to keep it low to medium. We're going to let that melt, and then we're going to mix in our cocoa. About me, Jacob. I started a new job at a restaurant 2 months ago. This is where this recipe is actually inspired from. I learned it all by myself. And yeah, so we're going to get into some of the basics, such as you like the egg that you separate it with, you've probably seen it with a water bottle. We're going to do it by hand, so I can show you how to do that. But before we start doing this, we have the butter in there melting. I'm going to show you one of the most important tips before you even start baking, which is making sure you wash your hands. Okay everyone, so you probably know how to wash your hands a million times. Turn on that, get a good couple of squirts of soap, mix it up, and just start going to town. And make sure you do the ABCs twice, A to Z, or Z. Okay everyone, so the butter's melted. We're going to put the half a cup of cocoa powder. It could be any type of cocoa powder. I'll put that in there real quick. We're going to grab our tiny whisk. You can use any whisk, but I love this tiny whisk. And you're just going to stir it to combine to make it completely together, homogeneous. Okay everyone, so now that we let that mix, you're going to see a little bit of bubbles. It looks like smoke, but we're fine. It's just rendering out and letting it toast a little bit. So now we're going to add our 14 count of can right in there. We're going to mix this, and I'll show you what it looks like, and we can add our next. Okay everyone, so we're going to add 1/2 cup of our powdered sugar. We're going to put that into the mix, and then once this is all thoroughly combined, we'll put the next ingredient in, which will be our pure vanilla extract. You're probably wondering why I'm adding powdered sugar instead of regular sugar. So powdered sugar gets us that really fine and delicate brownie layer, skin layer on top. So they glimmer and they shine. They look really good with it. Except for using actual sugar, it makes it a little more cakey. I prefer powdered sugar, so we're going to do this for the recipe. Okay everyone, so we're going to add about, let's get my tablespoon here, sorry. Tablespoon, and we're going to put 3 tablespoons of our pure vanilla extract. That's about 1, 2. Okay, so at this part, I have taken the pot off of the burner, and we're just going to let that mix for a little bit more. It's a little more difficult to see, I'm very sorry. And so now we're going to take the egg, which you see here, little more difficult to see, but there is an egg in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna scoop the egg with our hand. And so we're gonna try to let all the egg whites come out. Not the yolk, we need the yolk. And if the yolk splits, then we have to restart and have another egg. So as you can see, there's not much egg white. And so after we had the egg yolk completely, we're gonna put it into the mixture, and then we're just gonna stir to combine everything. And then after this, because we have to make sure the egg is not on the burner, because if it just sits there for too long, it cooks, and then you have half brownie, half egg, and it's horrible. I did that once, disgusting. So now, after this, we're gonna mix in our flour, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to add 3/4 cup of flour. 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna mix this, combine it thoroughly, and then we're gonna also make sure it's on the burner. And once we're mixed this, then we're gonna put it off to the side for about 5 minutes, and we're gonna add some chocolate chips for it to mix in so they're super chewy and delicious. And you can just put them on top because we're gonna mix it all in together. And so once this is done mixing in, then we're gonna put it in the oven at 325 for about 30 minutes. So I'll show you what I'm doing. It's on a pan just like this one to protect this one from melting or burning in the oven. Fun fact about the oven, every time you open the oven for a second, 10 degrees, it goes 10 degrees lower. So at 325, right now it's about 305 to 315. So I'm gonna put that up, I'm gonna put it for timer for 30 minutes. For me, it works for 30 minutes. Your ovens could be very different, so it could be 35 or maybe even 40. But for me, it's 30. Okay, so while the brownies are in the oven, I'm gonna do the closure part of my lesson. So for this recipe, it's really important to me because, well, having this job, the new job I have at the restaurant, I really have started to love to cook. It's like leisure, like I love it. I think the baking is an absolute fantastic leisure activity for me. And I've been able to benefit and learn new skills every day. And I think that it also ties into some of the most important skills, like washing your hands and the cognitive and coordination side of this lesson, such as following the recipe to the T with the cognition, and for the coordination, making sure you don't overmix the batter or end up putting a little bit too much flour instead of that 3/4 cup. Brownies are 5 minutes out, and we're gonna start the check for understanding portion of our lesson today. So what is one of the most important things before you even start baking? You're right, it is washing your hands. And what is some of the other things that are important? Is it the cognitive side more important than the coordination? Keep in mind, I'm only gonna ask 2 people this question, so we can hurry along. We got 1 more minute before the brownie's done. When beeping out in the oven, I'll take the brownies out and we get to eat them. Well, not really, we have to let them cool for about 10 minutes. 10 to 15, because if you bite them, you're gonna burn your tongue and then you won't be able to taste food for your entire week. I'm kidding on that one. Okay, everyone, so I took the brownies out. They look absolutely delicious. And also, by the way, make sure you turn your oven off. I'm sorry, this looks very... Hey guys, so this is what the brownie looks like. Took a little piece off and put it on a plate. And it is, oh, it's so good. In the words of the kids today, I think it's bussin'. Yeah, the brownie's bussin'. And thank you for tuning in to Jakob Bakes Brownies, or Baking Brownies with Jakob. Thank you so much. Tell your parents you love them. Have a good day.